This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below. Did you ever sit there looking at your Rubik's Cube wondering why it's not digital? Yeah, I never did either, but the Rubik's Tilt is here. We're going to take a look at it right now.
Don't you know that you're grown up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're grown up.
Hey there, and welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I'm John. I am a GenXGrownUp, and I want to thank you for taking the time to check out this video and hopefully the rest of the channel. If you've seen any of our stuff from the past, it's no secret that we're huge fans of Rubik's style puzzle cubes. In fact, I'm sitting here in front of a collection of some of my puzzle cubes. We've done videos about them in the past, about their history. We even looked at the cool Go Cube, which was the digital cube that hooked up to an app. And then there's another company and product line that we take a look quite a bit here in our reviews, and that's Super Impulse, with their line of the world's smallest and tiniest and micro toys. And not just video games, they put out, Etch-a-Sketch and Stretch Armstrong, and it's likely you've seen a lot of their products on the shelves of your local retailer. As luck would have it, my two worlds have collided here. Both Super Impulse and the concept of Rubik's Cubes have been mashed up together in the Rubik's Tilt. Super Impulse actually dropped us an email and said, hey, GenXGrownUp, would you like to take a look at a review copy of the Rubik's Tilt? So full disclosure, they sent us this review copy for free, will not impact my review. This is a really intriguing crossing of the streams from what I can see. I mean, you've got the Super Impulse line of toys that we know we like. We've got our love for puzzle cubes that you know we like. Plus you're sprinkling in some unnecessary or fun technology, some whiz-bangery. All of that should add up to something really amazing. But even looking at the video the Super Impulse puts out themselves to kind of demonstrate how the gameplay works, I'm not sure who this product is for yet. It's clearly got some accelerometers in it, it's got some buttons on the back, and I really just can't wait to find out if this amalgamation of things we know we love come together to create a brand new product or one that isn't quite up to snuff. We're going to take the Super Impulse Rubik's Tilt to the table, open it up, give it a full review in a second. But first, if this is your first time watching GenXGrownUp, please look for that little bar that lifts. See that subscribe button in the corner? Give that a click, maybe tick that bell to enable notifications. That'll make it way easier for you to see and find way more of our Gen X inspired content. All right, Rubik's Tilt, let's you and me head to the table right now. Here comes the Rubik's Tilt tilting into view. So here he is. He's got a little postage stamp screen. We got some what look like buttons that aren't buttons. The buttons are actually on the back. We'll look at those in a second. But it talks about motion controlled and try me. So I push the button to give it a try, and it does a little scramble here, and it says go, and I start shaking it and tilting it and mashing buttons, and things are happening randomly. I'm not entirely sure, quite honestly, what's going on, but we're gonna figure it out together. So let's get it cracked open and out of the case, and we'll find out what the Rubik's Tilt has to offer. All right, I finally got it free from its plastic clamshell digital prison. Included is the game, of course. We have the ever impressive Super Impulse catalog of tiny cool things that you can purchase. And we have instructions. Whoop, we never need instructions. And we have the Rubik's Tilt itself. Let's start with a quick tour of the device. So I mentioned the colors on the face here are not actually buttons, though they look like Rubik's Cube pieces. Blue, white, green, orange, yellow, red, the appropriate colors. But actually on the back is where stuff is happening. So we have 3 buttons on one side and 1 button on the other side, and a power on off button. So let's power it on. Looks like settings, start. So the screen is not touch, by the way, so I've got to know which buttons to push. Oh, hey, I lucked out. All right, so on the side, looks like these are like up, down, and a select button. So I can pick sound. Okay, I don't know if that worked. Sound, do I hit this button? Oh, there. I go up and down somehow. There's up, so down is up and up is down. All right, is that there back? All right, so then a timer. No, that didn't work. This button's like a menu button. Oh no. You know what? In an unprecedented turn of events, I have to go back in the trash can and retrieve the instructions because this is not obvious. In fact, I'm going to go away, read the instructions, and then come back and continue this review. Okay, I'm back. I read the instructions in full, both sides, and I understand a little better what we're doing. To its credit, I found that there's even an instruction option right here on the main screen. Once I learned how to navigate, I'll show you the instructions. On the screen, they pretty clearly explain, okay, you're going to twist left and right, you're going to turn it like a steering wheel, And tilt, what they call forward and backwards, is also an option. And what happens is based on which of these 3 buttons on the left you press. And then finally, if you hold down all 3 of the buttons together and twist, turn, or tilt, you're going to rotate the cube so you can see the different faces. All right, fair enough. While we're here, let's hop into settings and I can show you what else is in there. So we have a level setting where you can set yourself to beginner, cube solver, or speed cuber. We'll leave it at beginning because I'm neither of those. And you can turn hints on and off and at what point you're going to get hints, at what interval. Yeah. Okay, also from here you have a sound setting where I can set the sound louder or softer. We'll put it up really loud so you can hear it. It's not much sound. This clicking noise is pretty much all the sound that the unit makes. And finally you have a timer which you can just turn on or off, and then sensitivity, which I actually had to turn way up because I found that I was slinging it and wasn't doing anything, so I cranked it up a little higher. All right, so from the main screen here, what you're going to do is you push this button, which appears to be the only need for that. It's like a select button, and you push start, and it's going to scramble the cube for you. And it tells you to go, and because we have the timer on, it starts a little timer. So it's a bit of a puzzle just to figure out how to work the puzzle. So here's, hold down the A. If I flip, you can see it rotates the top there. If I tilt, it's rotating there. And if I steering wheel, it's going to rotate the face there. But it doesn't like always, it's not really responsive. It has accelerometers. All right, so let me show you what's going on with the middle button, which is this B button. I hold that guy down, and if I flip this way, it does a middle face, cool. If I tilt it, it does that middle face, forward and back. And if I flip it like this, it rotates that guy. And finally, the third button, the C, so as you might imagine, that's gonna take the back side, and then tilt it, which, it's, oh my God. Okay, and then steering wheel it is the back side. Okay, I just keep fighting with it. I'm just like, so let me just, it's the lack of intuitive that maybe you could figure it out over time, but let's just say, for example, I want to take this front face and turn it. If it's a real cube, I grab it and I turn it. But here, I'm like, let's see, I think it's, let me think about it. Is it the front, is it the C button over here? I'll try that and flip. No, that's not it. Okay, so now I've scrambled something else. Maybe it's this? No, is it this one? Ah, there we go, but I turned it the wrong way, so I flip it the other way. Okay, so now I gingerly come back so I can flip it again, or it's going to unflip. Everything about this is, I get it. So you're jumping on the bandwagon of what we did with like the Go Cube and electronic cubes. Okay, I'm going to reserve judgment on if it's important. Let's talk about the device itself. He's giving me a hint here, which is cool. It's well built, it's sturdy, it doesn't feel too flimsy, it's got batteries included, the sounds are nothing to write home about. My problem, I'm holding this B button. Let's do a flip to the right. Okay, let's flip to the right again. Well, that's an entirely different face. Why would you do that? All right, let's hold the B button. Let's go that way. And then, to illustrate, like I'm trying to, okay, let me go right. It didn't. Let's go right. It did that time. What if it's wrong? Flip back? Okay. Yeah, and man, Rubik's Tilt. I mean, you're interesting, but I don't think I get it. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I just don't get it. I would think like I am the market for the Rubik's Tilt. I love Rubik's Cubes. I like Super Impulse and tiny video games. I like technology and toys and stuff like that. All that is an amalgamation of the stuff that I should be a huge fan of, and I think I am a huge fan of. But here's kind of the key problem. That's not broken, right? So when I look at a Rubik's Cube, if I see that this piece is out of whack, the only thing my brain has to do is go, well, I should take that piece and turn it a little bit, and then it's back where it needs to be. What's happening here in the Rubik's Tilt is when I see something on the screen that I want to do, I then have to process in my head, okay, which one of the 3 buttons is for that? Okay, once I push the button, which of the various snapping movements do I have to do? And if I don't do the right snapping movement, Now I have to figure out which other snapping movement will undo that, because sometimes the reverse motion doesn't undo the thing you just accidentally did. Okay, Super Impulse, man, thank you for sending me this review unit. We're very grateful that you reach out to us, and we love your products. But I don't understand the need for the Rubik's Tilt, honestly. Look, if you're a Rubik's Cube collector, you should run out and get one of these right away, because I don't think they're going to be around very long. I don't know who the market is for this, is the problem. As I said, I ought to be the key market, but this strips away the part of the Rubik's Cube that at least is fun to play with. You know, that the fidget spinner, kind of like I'm flipping the sides, you know, I'm having a good time with my Rubik's Cube. And then you have the satisfying little click of what it does and all that. And this just makes what, to most people, I would assert probably the Rubik's Cube is frustrating because you don't know how to solve it. Well, now, if you try the Rubik's Tilt, it's giving you hints, but even when you get a hint, you've got to figure out how to deploy the hint and which of the buttons and which of the snap and twist tilt movements to do. All of that together makes for something that makes a good thing worse. There's nothing wrong with layering technology on top of something that's awesome if you're making it somehow better. Unfortunately, I think the Rubik's Tilt takes all the things that are cool about the Rubik's Cube and makes them worse. And that's too bad. It really is. So for a review, Super Impulse Rubik's Tilt, I'm going to give you 1.5 tokens out of 5. You're a really nice collectible. I'm going to enjoy having you on my shelf. You're very colorful. But, you know, as a toy and a way to play with the Rubik's puzzle toys, this is probably not going to be what you want. Just go for a Rubik's Cube. They're much cheaper and they work already. You understand how to do it. Man, I sure hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. GenXGrownUp is dedicated to bringing you new Generation X inspired videos every week. Here are a couple more you can watch right now, but for even more, subscribe and enable those notifications. And if you love what we do, we invite you to support us over on Patreon. And of course, your feedback in the comments and a quick thumbs up are always appreciated.